What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm really pretty confident in what we've got going on today, but we've got to play musical cars because we need the whole garage for the project that we're going to start today. So I've got to move the Cobalt and the Mustang and move a bunch of stuff around so we could fit the truck in by itself. So let's make that happen. Got those R1 brake rotors installed on the car, and oh my god, they look so much better. Painted the calipers red, brand new drilled and slotted rotors, brand new brake pads. This car has never had a new set of pads from what I could tell. It still have the factory retaining clips on them, so looking so much better and performs a whole lot better as well, so highly recommend. So by this point, you're probably wondering, what on earth are we trying to do with this thing now? Trying to diagnose what's wrong and finally come to the conclusion that we think it's possibly the fuel pump not giving the truck enough fuel pressure that it needs to keep it running and to where I could drive it. The truck sounds like it's not getting enough fuel, not getting enough something, and when you go take off to drive it, it just hesitates, it dies, it even stalls out and completely shuts itself off. The only thing that can explain why that happens is the fuel pump is not sending enough fuel to the truck. Everything else has been replaced, all the sensors are new, so the only thing that explains anything would be the fuel pump. And after watching a few videos and talking to a few people online about it, that's pretty much the conclusion that we've come to. Now, as you guys know, on these trucks, the fuel pump sits inside the gas tank. There's really only two logical ways to take the fuel pump out of these trucks. And the most popular is to actually pick the bed up off of the rails and slide the bed back or lift the bed up enough to where you can actually get in there and actually take the fuel pump assembly out and replace it. Number two being drop your fuel tank, which really isn't going to be possible when I've got over half a tank of fuel in there. It's going to be extremely heavy. More than likely picking the bed up off the truck, sliding it back somehow, and servicing the fuel pump that way. Now, this fuel pump has been replaced before. The pump itself has been replaced back in 2007, I think, from the receipt that I found, and the actual rest of the assembly is factory. Everything else is factory, nothing else has been replaced. The floater factory, all the hoses inside are factory, and all that stuff has never been touched. So what I'm thinking is that there's a hose on the inside, there's on the assembly. In the assembly there is a hose that goes down the center, and it's very possible that it could be punctured or have a couple of pinholes in it that's actually not letting the truck get the proper pressure that it needs in order to run these brand new fuel injectors. Before I put the fuel injectors in, I have been having trouble with the truck running. As you know, it's been like a year, not been running right, and just kind of hesitating, being really slow, really having a huge amount of loss of power. It's just not been normal. So it could have very well been having these problems before, but I never noticed it because the fuel injectors that I had were the small factory fuel injectors, and it didn't really matter. The pump was still making enough pressure to push through those injectors. What I'm thinking what happened is that we changed out the injectors, which are, as you guys saw, are bigger nozzles, and it requires a little bit more fuel pressure to push out. We went out and got one of these fuel injection pressure test kits, and when we fit that up to the truck, when we put this on, the pressure will go up to about 55 or 60 psi when you turn the key on, but it'll start immediately rapidly dropping down to about 10 psi. From what I've read online, these trucks are supposed to hold their pressure at around 50 psi when you turn on that key. It's got to have something to do with the fuel or the air mixture. Now, it could be the fuel pump, it could be the O2 sensors being bad. Not really 100% sure, but since the fuel pump assembly has never been replaced, probably a good place to start, and we might as well go ahead and get that done and out of the way because it's going to need it sooner or later. Now the fuel pump should be in, it should be ready to go get picked up. We're also going to change the fuel filter out as well, because you do not want to have a dirty, gummed up fuel filter with a fresh fuel pump pushing the fuel through that filter and just causing another issue on down the road. So brand new AC Delco fuel filter, and we will be going to get the fuel pump here momentarily. And I'm going to get a bunch of comments about, sensors, relays, stuff like that. I have changed out pretty much every single sensor that I could think of and that I can get to on top of the engine. I've changed out the fuel pump relay. I've changed out a ton of stuff, and it's not helped the issue. So the next step is to kind of go bigger and see if we can, change out this pump and see if that makes a difference, which I'm really thinking that it probably will based off the fuel pressure readings, and hoping that this makes the truck to where I could still at least get up and drive it, and I'm able to make the changes that I want to make to the truck for the show year once the show year ever opens back up. Now normally taking a bed off really isn't too terribly hard of a task. I believe there's only 4 bolts that hold on each side of the bed to the frame rails. It's just the fact that this bed has not been touched, it's not been taken off, those bolts have not been touched for a long time, since like 2007 when I said, and they're probably going to be pretty rusty. That, and then we've got an exhaust hanger that actually attaches to one of the little frame portions of the bed. That's probably going to give us a little bit of a fight, and I really hope we don't break that. But we got to do what we can to get this bed up and off the truck. All right, little update to our situation we've got going on with the fuel pump. We tried the tilt the bed up method. There's just not enough room to get to the pump on the other side. So because when we tilt it up, we can't get it just to tilt up enough for us to be able to get up under there and get that pump out. We'll hit the exhaust and everything. We actually got the exhaust hangers removed from the bed completely. Tires and wheels are off. Bed's unbolted. Working on getting that slid back as we speak, so then we can get to our fuel tank and replace that pump. All right, making some progress on this, and we've come to the conclusion that it looks like the fuel lines are going to need completely replaced. They're just so corroded, and they broke right off. There's no getting those off. I guess back in the day, the actual pump was replaced, but the whole hanger assembly was not. So this is all original. So who knows what could be going on here. But the biggest issue we're going to have is trying to find parts to replace on a step-side bed. So apparently, everything is different on a step-side bed, and you can't just go get any filler neck hose or any housing, because this one's completely rusted through, so that needs replaced as well. And this is where we're at. So I don't know how long it's going to take to get parts and get it put back together, but I guess we'll go find out. Okay, we've got a gigantic mess in the garage floor. As you can see, we've got everything on the ground, tailgates off, tires off, but we were unable to get everything finished up and put back together tonight. Reason being is, well, we got brand new fuel pump. It is installed. It's in the truck right now. Everything looking so much better. But as I explained before, on that other fuel pump, we had these lines, the return and the feed lines, actually completely busted off. So I had to go to auto parts store and order new lines. And once those both come in, it was like 5 o'clock. And one was right and one was completely 100% wrong. So that's always the fun of ordering parts and hoping and expecting them to come in properly. So in the morning, we're going to get up early. We're going to go hit the auto parts store, so that way we can get that line put up or into the truck, and then we'll actually be able to start the truck, and everything should be good as far as that goes. We're going to need this part right here, which I guess is the fuel filler pipe, is what it's called if you look it up in the LMC catalog. As you can see, we've got a giant hole that has somehow rusted through that. Really not sure how, as water really shouldn't be getting in there, and it shouldn't happen, but it did. And we're actually going to have to get that part after all said and done, and we have the new line and everything is all buttoned up. Then we should be able to hopefully start the truck up, and with any luck, everything should be back to normal. We should be able to take it on its first drive. If our speculations are correct, we shouldn't be idling rough, we shouldn't be stalling out, we shouldn't be losing fuel pressure or anything like that. So tomorrow morning, and by the end of the day, tomorrow, midday maybe, everything should be back together, and we should have a running truck As always, huge thanks to my dad for helping me out with this project. I wouldn't know anything that I do about vehicles if it wasn't for him, and anything like this, any bigger projects like this, he's always around to help me fix it and help me take care of the problems. So definitely a huge thanks to him. I really could not do it without him. And before I get any comments about not changing the fuel filter, changed it. Fuel filter is brand new, so after all that, we should be on a good path in the right direction. All right, it is the next day. We've already went to O'Reilly and we got the proper fuel line. So both of those new fuel lines are on, and I actually found somebody with a step-side bed locally selling parts off of it, so I was able to get the new filler neck or filler pipe or whatever that thing's called, and we are actually ready to go and do a pressure check, make sure everybody's good and everything's tight. So look at these nice new fuel lines. Everything's looking so much better in here, so even if it's not the problem, at least it looks better, and I'm sure it's going to run better too. So we're about ready to do the pressure check and first start up and see what's going on. Oh, it's not going to kick on because you didn't plug it in. All right, attempt number 2 with the fuel pump plugged in. Looking at, we're holding 55 with the key on. Let's see if that will stay there with the key off. This was rapidly dropping back down to 10 to 15 psi, where when we put on the cobalt it stayed right around this range and just had a small drop in pressure, but this is not doing anything like it was before because there's brand new fuel pump, brand new lines, really no chance of having any internal leaks, so it's barely losing pressure. So that's a lot better than what we were seeing before with the old pump. Fuel pressure is holding out good, so we're going to fire this thing up and see if we've got any better results this time. So here we go. The truck is back in one piece. Looks like a truck again. Bed's on, bolts tightened down, tires and wheels on. The only thing left really to do is to rewire up the rock lights back there because we got to snip those in order to move the bed back. So fuel pump is in, all the new fuel lines, return and feed line is on, so we are about ready to go take it on a little test drive and see what it does. Thanks to that, we're going to have a little vacuum leak issue because it has a little bit of vacuum leak somewhere, but I'm not really sure where right now. So I guess we'll go see how it drives. Now, for whatever reason, the truck will sit here and it'll idle just fine all day. I mean, if I wanted to run the thing and let it idle all day, I don't think it would have a single issue doing that. But the moment you go and put it in gear, the RPMs will just drop and kind of fluctuate a little bit from, I'd say, 500 to 1200 RPM, and you can tell it's got a hesitation and something's definitely not right. I'm going to let it warm up, and then we're going to stick the GoPro on there and take it for a little drive. All right, GoPro is mounted and on. Let us see what happens. So parking brake. See, when you put it in gear, seems fine in reverse right here. What we're gonna do is just take it right down the street. So you hear that hesitation. This is me trying to hit the gas to go in reverse. It's not doing anything. Sputtering. Then I have a little bit of power here right when we get above 1000 RPM, which is great and all. The 1000 to 2000 RPM seems normal. It's just getting that initial takeoff, getting past, the 0, I guess the 500 to 1000 mark. That's the initial problem. Make sure we have nobody behind us. All right, so now we're going to kind of let it have it just a little bit. So we're second gear, then we start backfiring. Not sure if you can hear that on this camera, but it definitely has to pick up on the GoPro. So the GoPro clips will be played and we'll be able to hear that. It's just once you get to like second gear and you get over 2,000 RPMs and you really start to get on it and try to drive the truck normally, and of course we've got the black smoke and all that good stuff. But that's just the biggest problem that we're running into, that nothing's going to be able to fix, that we've found so far. Smells like it runs rich. I don't know if it could be a clogged cat, something in the exhaust system as far as that goes, as far as the air to fuel ratio goes, but I don't know, it's just starting to really get very questionable. Yeah, so that didn't go. I mean, I didn't have high hopes to begin with, really, but it's got some kind of vacuum leak or something, or the camshaft sensor, something's wrong with it, but we're gonna check it out. Took the truck on a test drive, as you saw. Did not go as planned. Still had a bunch of hesitation. No power. I couldn't even step on the gas and let it go anywhere. But on the plus side, there's no fuel pressure problems. All the problems there are gone. So decided to go to the store and grab camshaft position sensor and crankshaft position sensor. Those are the only two sensors that I have never touched, never replaced. No, both of those have the symptoms that I'm having, so might as well just go ahead and replace both. I'm going to button things up again here, fire it back up, and just see what happens. At this point, I don't get my hopes up too much about it. Only thing I could do is just cross my fingers, hope it works, and after this, I really don't know what's next. We checked the distributor, it's fine. It's got normal play, normal everything, and the rotor's good. Cap was a little bit of corrosion on it, but nothing out of the ordinary. And then just the rest of the spark plugs are literally the only thing that would have anything else to do with the way this truck runs. Otherwise, it's just absolutely, we don't know. To the point where we have no idea what's going on with this thing. So we're gonna give it another shot. I think this is like the second or third video that I'm ending with a very disappointed and frustrated face, man. Like, two new sensors, camshaft position sensor, crankshaft position sensor. Like I said, didn't have high hopes, but in the back of my mind I was hoping that plus everything else that we've done to the truck, this past week, it was gonna fix it. But no, I still have way too much hesitation. Still, I took it for the drive just right down the street. It didn't stall out and die this time, which is a plus. And in its own sense, the fuel pump, obviously it needed that. It needed all these parts. It really did. But the fact that the truck is not running, it's not drivable still, is really, really frustrating. And hopefully we're gonna get this thing back up and running. I mean, it's frustrating, but it's also determination to try to get it back and get things back where they should be. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching and sticking around. This is probably going to end up being a longer video than normal, so I hope that's okay. But we've got a lot of work to do, and we're not done. So thanks for watching. We'll see you all in the next video. Take care.